Let's go. Hello, fellow humans and lizard people alike. If you don't know me by now, my name is Dylan Francis. So a few weeks ago, something extremely horrible happened to me, and I'm still mentally recovering from it. I went to a techno after party, and I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. I went to ARC Music Festival in Chicago, went to the after party with Adam Bayer, Boris Brecha, and of course Eric Prydz, and it was an amazing show, and all three of them played banging, dark, fuck you up techno, and it blew my mind. I had such an amazing time. I was looking at music through a new light. I never really gave techno the chance, to be honest. So, naturally, I've spent the last 4 or 5 weeks making techno. I still love tech house. Don't worry. I still love all forms of house. Sometimes you gotta try something different. Matter of fact, I fell so much in love with techno at that show that I even put out my own motherfucking techno sample and preset pack on my Patreon, baby. There should be some banging techno music playing right now. Yep, that's right. If you head on over to my Patreon right at this instant, you can download the pack. It has something like 63 amazing curated samples by me. I spent a lot of time mixing every one of them from scratch. It also has 24 amazing presets from me in Serum, all for techno. It's available right now. Subscribe to my Patreon from the bio. And today I'm going to be making a drop with those sounds that I created from Patreon. Only those sounds. So let's get started. All right, we're just going to do the damn thing.
Let's do it.
So I've got the pack open here. I honestly haven't dove into it since I made the pack over the weekend. I've been working on some other stuff, so I'm excited to test it out. So I just want to start in synths right now to give myself some kind of melodic direction. So that's where we're going to start. Let's check these out. A lot of complementary stabs. Okay. I'm already getting ideas for that, so I think I'm just going to throw that down before I waste time. We're going 134 beats per minute, so that's going to be the lead-in for the drop, for sure. Like, that'll, like, build up, and then... Cool. I mean, I think I'm just going to go straight for a kick then, because we know kind of the direction we want to take this. Got some big, meaty ones here. I think I'm going to go with this number one. Kick laid out. Some nice 8-bar action going. Now, I do have some rumble samples in here. But I also included all of the rumbles in the form of presets in Serum. So just to make it easier on yourself and everybody. All right, so I'm going to go... Actually, I have all of my packs here. And I'm going to go right into the Techno Essentials pack. And I'm going to look through rumbles. What I'll do is I have them all kind of like... There's tone involved in all of them. So we're going to set the note on A, and all of my presets are at A or at C2 octaves, so you don't have to like change octaves as you're scrolling through them. I think that is the most egregious thing that any preset pack creator can do, is make you have to change octaves for every fucking sound that you're loading up. Anyway, so I've got a rumble here, and we're going to test out all the different ones that I made and see which one works best. And honestly, it's kind of hard to tell because there's no instruments on here, but regardless, we're going to see what we can do. Now, mind you, I do already have sidechain on the group for this, which is why it's not like stomping out right away. Let's try another one. Ooh, that might be the one. I notice I also have all of these, like, I gave you guys options here. Extra tone. There's all these different things you could do. Less rattle. I really like this one though. That's gonna layer nicely underneath like a good sequenced bass. So let's get a good sequenced bass in there now. Go right back into the pack. You know, I don't always do it. Sometimes I like leaving it just like a massive kick with a little bit of tone. But first I'm gonna see what we get with some of these bass lines. I think, and this is like the standard 8th note one I put in there, so let's go with that. Or 16th note, I can't count, sorry. Now, mind you, I only put one of these 16th note sequence basses in this pack, but if you've been a subscriber to my Patreon for a minute, then you know that I have like 5 or 6 more of these scattered throughout the 500 plus presets that I've put out by now. So you should have plenty of options to choose from when it comes from these sequence basses. Now, one thing I like to do is leave space for the rumble, and that's why I really make these. And guys, let me just, I'm actually just going to stop myself right here. And I'm going to let you all know that I am not the techno authority. I've been making tech house for 4 or 5 years. I've been making house music in general for about 8 years, but I never made techno in my life until about a month and a half ago. So I'm not the authority.
I don't know what any of this shit is, and I'm fucking scared.
Don't sit here thinking that I am telling you the absolute best knowledge you could possibly get on techno. But damn it, I've made some dope-ass techno songs by now. Back to what I was saying. One of my big things I like to do with these rumble techno basses combos, when you have that 16th stepping bass over the rumble, is to get a 16th kind of stepping action within the rumble. That's why I make these rumbles like this. It's so that you can like kind of feel a little jitter underneath the bass. But when you do that, I am leaving sub in the rumble. I mean, when you look at the EQ for this, there's plenty of sub bass going on. It's in the mix of everything. So essentially what I'll do is I'll go into the 8th note bass, or why do I keep saying 8th note? I'm dumb. I'm sorry. 16th note bass, and I will cut some of those lows off. You don't need them. And then I'm looking for a good balance between those two. So now we got... See, we're not capping too high in the volume there. And right there, I'm already like, I could bring this down, dude. Maybe bring the reverb down at it a little bit. Now, some cool things you could do, and I always encourage my Patreon subscribers, I'm like, please, first of all, mess around with my macros, and second of all, mess around with the LFOs and the envelopes. Try some different stuff. I really like doing sequences out of it too, so like, note that this is, we can set this to 1 full bar, and then what I can do is be like, well, I want like every 3rd note to step up an octave. So I'm gonna like do this little box here. I'm gonna throw this on the octave. We're gonna make it only go like, 6 should maybe be enough. We'll go 6 here, and we'll leave the sub bass. So now, hold on, that's at a bar. We need to go to 1/4. I'm sorry, my counting's all off today. So there we go. Now we got that little, like, if you ever want to go up an octave, we can try, make sure that's not going up too. See, and you can do some blends of it. See, I like that. Great. All right, so it's going to be this lead-in synth. I feel like this rumble needs some more. And honestly, I think cutting off those highs might have hurt it. Just because I'm going soft on the bass, I'm just going to give it a little... Yeah. And looking back into the preset, maybe a little more of that. Nice. Now, one thing I always like to do too is throw a reverb on my kick, which I know sounds insane. I don't know about your reverb plugin, but here in Logic, we have an internal EQ on our reverb, which is fantastic. So I'll usually go for a pretty small room here. Like we're talking like 0.6, wet, very down, like 5 to 7% to start. It'll get changed though. And then I'm cutting those lows off. So obviously that's not enough. And I'll start working in the dry wet. Maybe give a little bit more on the decay. Cut some of those highs off. And it'll help blend that together a little bit more. I do want to say, I want to cut a little bit off the highs of this kick. Just a bit. Next thing I'm going to do probably is get a ride cymbal in there just to like get some high-end texture because I don't necessarily love, I mean, I'll get the whole drum structure going, to be honest. We could do that. But I don't necessarily love filling up the high end right away on the track. I like letting it be a little bit more progressive with the techno.
Oh yeah, be more progressive with the techno.
I do have all of those hi-hats saved into a sampler here, so I'm just going to start off with that. This is, you know, all the hi-hats I made. You can see closed ones. Good hard-hitting stuff. Grab an open hat to start. Now, I have one of the best hi-hat building methods in the game, but this is where I tell you to go to my Patreon and look for that video because that's where I'm keeping that info. All right, the hats are done. Here's two things I will tell you about hi-hats that are going to be super useful for you. One, very useful to be saturating your hi-hats. Tape saturators work fantastic. So does the retro saturator in Isotope Neutron Exciter. Good multi-band saturation is also going to do you a lot of justice. We're talking low mix, so basically parallel mixing it. Low mix, a lot of times I'll go hefty on the saturation itself. But one thing that I find that it does is it kind of de-esses the sound in a way when you overpopulate those high frequencies with new ones, because essentially when you're saturating, you're bringing up a lot of frequencies. When you overpopulate those high frequencies with new ones and they're less isolated to themselves. There's less like thin spikes and you have more of like a full kind of surface on the high end. It just doesn't pierce as hard. When you're listening to a song, like in the intro of a song, when it's just like a kick and a hi-hat, and that hi-hat is really piercing your ear, it's because you have that like kind of naked signal on the high end that's like literally spiky frequencies. And when you add some saturation, you kind of just like busy up that area a little bit more so it smooths out. You have to be aware you're introducing like basically white noise, but if you could work it to your advantage, it's super helpful. Another thing I always do is keep an enveloper on my hi-hat group at all times, basically a transient shaper, and I'm just ready to, test out different tails. So that's that. Let's just, before we move on from there, let's grab some shaker action. That's going to be perfect. Transient shape. Nice, we got a high end. I have to say that reverb on that kickstand. Yeah, see what I was saying about 5 to like 10%, but it's really like 5%. 5 or 6. From what I was saying back to the beginning of with these drums, let's just get a ride really quick. That's a hard choice. I think I'm gonna go with 3 there. So that's obviously super loud. I go very quiet with my ride cymbals on the drop. I mean, we're talking like -30 on the reading. Look at that. I'm like, I've been doing this for way too fucking long. Okay, cool. We're starting to get an idea. Now I want to hear how this lead in comes. Something to note is that I believe all of the sounds that I have in the pack, I also have in serum form. I honestly think they're all part of my Patreon. If they aren't part of this pack, then they're part of a previous pack. I can 100% promise you that. So I'm going to go back into this pack. Back in pack. So we're going to look for that. And I think I remember pretty clearly what it was. I want to say it's this right here. Yep, that's loud and clear. God, it sounds like someone had an accident. All right. Nice. We got a nice little futuristic reset. I love this. I'm so happy with how this one turned out. So I don't think I want this sound to hit right off the drop. Right there. And honestly, we don't even really need it. We don't even really need it in serum form because I just want that. All right, we're getting a little bit off the tail. Cut that little piece off, like that much. Leave just, that place blank. Do a little fade in, a little fade out. And then what I want to do is also do a parallel processing channel for it, a wet channel for it, and it's just going to straight up have a good amount of delay on it. I'm going to go to the Proppa delay right here. My favorite. It's actually the standard Ableton delay. It's the same exact thing. We're going to go 6 65%. No, we're gonna go 55%. And then we're gonna head over into a reverb. And for these big long reverbs, I love the Hollow Room. Always will. It's just a classic. Huge fan of the dark room too in there. A lot of people kind of keep it on the standard, but the dark room's great. Let's see how that came out. One of them should be 100% wet, so I'm gonna bring the reverb wet down. I'm gonna turn the delay wet all the way up. There we go. And that's a little bit more how it should sound. Bring that way down. I like to make sure I'm cutting those lows off and kind of like managing it as much as possible beforehand. Hell yeah. This needs to go over here though. Hell yeah. Ooh yeah. Okay. Okay. Gdude. I'm feeling pretty good. Hell yeah. The juices are flowing. So what we're gonna do instead of taking that one, we're gonna get a different lead, and your boy came up with some dope screeches from this pack. We're gonna go right into the Techno Essentials Screech. We got 2 screeches here, and it says hard because it goes hard. Oh!
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
I can't wait to edit this video and put memes in.
That was a meta moment by Proppa.
We're gonna just start it on the standard, like, there, and I like that high one. What if we, like, sequence it just a little bit? Ooh, okay, hear me out. Okay, so it's gonna do, and then on that 4th one, let's give it like a little. Like that. Yeah, and I mean, like, those have a good separation on them. We're gonna send this a little bit to the right. I mean, just barely. I'm a big fan of panning in general. I'm gonna send this to the right with it. We're gonna take this to the left. Get some reverb. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of some of these tops. Let's just like, because I want this drop to intro like. And then honestly, what's gonna happen, usually I'll do this. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna expand this, and let's just, for good measure, that's 16 bars. I wanna go, we'll just go 24 for the sake of me not making a fucking 45-minute video. But essentially what'll happen is I'll use this as a pre-stab, right? Like, this is like kind of introing what can happen. And then what I'll do actually is use this piece, like, you know, downbeat kind of, or like the A and then the B response. Second half through, we'll go A and then the B response again. We could maybe change the B response up a little bit. And then the third time through, we're getting the full effect. What I think is going to happen is a progression here. And we'll start the progression like that. So it would... Now, obviously, we still need to fill this space up, but I don't like getting too, you know... Not sold on the layering yet, but... Now, the other thing too is, like, we're gonna have transitions in there, so it doesn't feel like these are just coming in out of nowhere. We got so much space to work with. Now, I have really good sounds to fill in those spaces already in my head from this pack, but I do want to make sure I hit this track with some ambience. One of the things I really found with techno is, like, you can never go wrong with just the slightest amount of, like, tone in the background of your shit. So I'm going to head over to the pack. I have an ambience here from the pack. And mind you guys, you go to my Patreon, like look at all of these presets I put out. That was week 49, and I put out 2 weeks worth of presets so that I can do a big plan for the 50th week. But this is a lot of sounds, guys. 10 sounds per week, sometimes more. So, and the reason I'm saying that is because I have an ambience pack right here. So like if you can't find ambience in if you don't like this ambience, I have 10 more for you here, literally. There's that, but I'm going to try this out in here really quick. Pull that back, way back. And I'm just going to leave that there. Maybe we'll keep it there. I'm just going to loop it through for now, and then we're going to test out some things. This definitely needs the full reverb. We'll give it the flutter. And then we're going to cut those lows off. Now, I think one of these octaves, personally, I just want to take up. Beautiful. Okay, now we can really hide this thing back. It is still a little bit forward. We're going to hide it in a small room reverb. See how much that fills up the space? You can even go lower, man. Like, you can go super low. So the thing I love about these sounds is negative 31. Now it's at like negative 34. Negative 42.8. Negative 41. And it's still clear as day. Even when the tops come in. So, huge factor there. And you can really bury that thing down in the mix if you want. We are so getting somewhere here. I honestly, I was a little bit nervous making this video because it's like, I can make tech house on the spot. I've done that a lot. But making techno on the spot, pretty stoked right now with how this is coming out. I want to grab a synth right here. I want to get right into a synth. I've got these really cool swell sounds as part of the pack, like long form swells. This one's pretty sick. The angry swell is sick. Let's start with the acid meltdown. This one's a monster, so it might be too big, and I did use it in the demo project for this, but let's see. I mean, of course I did. It's part of the pack. Low octave acid sounds are fucking insane. I'm gonna throw this down. Let's try that out. I think this needs to be right here. Obviously, things are starting to get a little bit crowded up there. A couple different, my brain goes in different ways, right? It's like we can either get rid of this and move it somewhere else, or we can filter this out and kind of get it out of the way by the time this really comes in. Let's see what our options are within here. We can try making it faster. Not the worst thing in the world, honestly. Especially if I and this is me just toying with the goddamn preset now. Okay, right there. So if we end it there, right? And then we take the filter cutoff. I'm going to route that to the modulation so I don't mess it up. And then I'm going to go in right on the end there and I'm going to blast it up. Right there. Yeah. I'm okay with it right now. Honestly, maybe it's not the screech that it's interfering with too much, so maybe we can do this right here leading into that Reese, and that'll be nice. Let's see. Okay, that's actually sick. I can get behind that. We can maybe hit it, get this in there for a little bit more now. Okay, cool. Let's get a fill going here, honestly. I'm ready for it already. I didn't think I would be, but I'm ready for it. What I'm gonna do is we're just gonna get on this bass group entirely with a low cut at about 145. I'm gonna turn it off, and I'm only gonna turn it on at that point. We're gonna take the kick out for 2 beats, but we'll leave the lows in the kick. Now we're gonna take the lows out of the kick too. Same ordeal. Always do this. I'm gonna throw the low cut on there. I'm gonna pull this up to about 142. Mind you guys, I don't really do much mix on my own kicks and claps and stuff that I make for Patreon because I do the mix when I'm making the samples. So when I'm actually using the samples in a project, I hardly touch the motherfuckers. Okay, we can pull the rumble out there. And then let's get rid of that side chain so we know what's up. I'm in Logic, and in Logic, we don't trust on-offs for plugins. We only trust them for parameters within plugins. Something to note: I will turn on and off a curve on an EQ. I will not turn on and off a project or a plugin in the middle of a sound playing. You know what? I love the idea of that beat just being blank besides the fill. And then what we'll do is we'll take that first initial piece. I'm going to process in some reverb. This is selection-based processing. I've talked about this so many goddamn times. I don't think I need to explain it again. But if you don't know what selection-based processing is and you're in Logic, then you've been wasting a lot of your time, my friend. We're going to throw this here. I want this to be actually a pretty long motherfucking sweep because it's just like we're filling that space with ambience, you know? Type in your fade-ins, guys. It's so much quicker. 10K. Who gives a fuck? 10K is the same as 5K as long as it's going to the end. All right. Gotta be louder, but yes, please fuck me up. Ah! Okay, this is something, guys. This is something cool. I'm liking this. This is making me want to fucking. Oh, look at that. All right. We gotta kill that ambience right there. And unfortunately, I mean, this is the one plugin I will, do hard mute. It's muting though. It's not on off. But I will mute this because there's a ton of reverb on it, so we don't get that tail. Dude, I'm feeling so bummed. Like, high key might release this, to be honest. Like, this might become a track. A lot of times I'm like going into this like speedrunning beats so that I can make videos, and I'm loving how this is turning out. The synth is definitely coming in loud. That's better. Sick. All right, so I mean, we might as well get that other swell that I was talking about in there and see if it does any justice. I'm gonna throw it down. We're not gonna copy that automation over with the mod wheel that I did on the filter. We're gonna try something different. I used the acid meltdown swell. Now we're gonna use the angry swell. I love this one. It's kind of like, I don't really know what to describe it. It's like dirty. It's really that white noise. Huge tip. Whenever you're making a sound in Serum, whenever you want something to sound dirtier, send a little bit of white noise into the sound through a fuck ton of distortion. Without the white noise, it's nothing. That really brings it to life. And if you really want, like, if you don't like it there the whole time, you can always use your routings with it. So this is going a bar. We'll try it a bar first. We'll see. Okay, might need to be an automation here. Let's try this out, because this is just gonna bring that right up anyway. Yeah, that gave it a little bit of like extra kind of chomp. I'm gonna try this morph it too. See what happens when I morph it. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Oh, whoa. Oh, okay. I see what's happening. Let's do this way. That's what I wanted. We're gonna turn this on because that's what we did last time. I'm realizing, like, going back into it, I never did percussion. And I think right now I'm definitely missing some of that. I have some good perk loops here. I think I want to start with this one. This one came out really good when I was making the beat for this pack. So we're going to get this on grid. We are going to make sure it's quantized because we don't want to swing on it right now. I wanted to be pretty robotic with this. Not going to use it in this section, but I just want to make sure we're getting it mixed in. Always hit it with that transient shape. Even if you don't need it, test it out. Have it ready to use in case you want to automate it. I don't mind that progression at all. Now we need another fill here, and it's not going to be this. Well, you know, we could use this part. So that's fine with me, but I do want to... It is going to be a fill, that's for sure. We can cut these last two rides out. Let's cut these out. Let's get these out. We'll get these out as well. But essentially, I don't want to do like a hard bass cut or anything. I've got some fills here in terms of drums. They're all pretty fucking useful, to be honest. I can't think of which one I want. We'll try this first. It's already at 134 too. So that the one thing there, got to kill the side chains. Okay, I think this spot deserves the crash symbol that's in the pack. My Proppa delay. That works. Now, it's something I'll always do with my crashes. I'm going to copy it down to this reverse crash channel. I told you guys a little bit ago, if you don't know selection-based processing, you're wasting a ton of time. That's what I'm going to do there to add some reverb to that crash. Bring it over there, chop it, bring the volume up, reverse it, fade it in. Remember, write your fade-ins to save yourself some goddamn time. Curve it. I always do a fade one out to avoid any click on the end of it. So in this pack, I have a few effects. Something to keep in mind as I'm going through all of this. If you don't find it in this pack, I've got a whole pack dedicated to effects. Each one has like, almost every pack has an effect or two in it. If you just go to all of my Patreon sounds here and we measy on over into the effects section, you can see a good amount of little risers and downers for you. Hell of a ton of basses. So if it's not in this pack, it's somewhere else. I'm just trying to stick to this pack just to prove a point. This one's speed is pretty good. So we're gonna... Is it serving the exact purpose that I made it for? You can stuff that right down in the mix. Don't need it too loud. One thing I'll do is notice, like, always keep in mind when you're doing drum fills, what's going on with your percussion at the same time. Like, my shaker and my hi-hat aren't going to clash with this fill, but this percussion loop definitely is. They're definitely going to... No need for them to be together. So I'm going to pull that out. It just, try to be as fill up the space as little as you need to make it sound good. So from here, usually at this far of a progression of a track, I'm grabbing like a clap, throw in there. So I'm going to throw this clap in here. Logic users, use your marquee tool. It's going to save your life. Pull that clap down in volume. I don't think, so that's a good clap for more kind of like deep, dark techno. I think we need one, with a little bit more brightness to it for this. Something that hits a little harder. Nice. Something I'm going to do too is, we're talking about selection-based processing. We're going to do a shifted clap here. For sure. And not on the first one. On the fourth one. Or no, you know what? I always do the fourth one. We're going to do the third. Super hardcore fade. You don't want a lot of fade. I do that 99 fade there. And you should really barely hear it. Bring that up a bit. A little more. There it is. That is the clap structure. Something else I'll do here is like use the clap kind of like as an offbeat, so we can do something like go here and kind of hit it with that. A lot of times I'll bring that down too in volume. So then that will be the clap structure for the track. Now, something I want to do is definitely get kind of one more low droning sound in here. And I mean, there's plenty more I could add to this, but I'm kind of just like trying things out. I might open up this project again, something like that. By the way, if you guys are looking for acid, I have a whole pack of acid sounds here from a few weeks ago. I also have some other acid sounds in here. You know, before we try something, let's look through the rest of these synths. We got the Acid Death Chomp. I love this one. This is from Eli Brown Diamonds. This is inspired by that. Pretty nice. We got this. I mean, you know, might as well use this since I haven't. You know, it's happening in that one part of the track. So let's do like a long one. See how that works. I think I can do something to make it not as similar to the fill that happens, you know? We're gonna mess with this wavetable. So we're gonna do just a regular low pass filter. Nice, and then I think this wavetable needs to change to kind of pull that texture out. So it's not exactly the same. We'll go 2 WRDs, and we'll hit them with like this. Sick, there you go. So, I mean, you know, and I wanted to stay in this pack. I have so many sounds in my Patreon that could have fit there. Off the top of my head, I've got the fucking Death Swell. I've got Big Dark Brass. I've got Reese Me Dead. I've got a ton of sounds I already know off the top of my head that I've made for my Patreon that would fit in there perfectly, but I just wanted to make sure I was staying in this pack and demonstrating to you guys that none of these sounds are set in stone. You can always fuck around with them and get something better. No matter what, with any sound you load. I don't grab presets anymore. I pretty much just use my own, but when I did, I still messed with them. Didn't just leave them the way they were. Sick. That's gonna sound clean. It's not supposed to be distracting. It needs some EQ. None of this is mixed. It all needs to be mixed. By the way, guys, there's no processing on this shit. All this is, you guys have seen the very minimal. I've done EQ, reverb, and delay, and I have not done anything else. My hats naturally had that exciter on them because that's just what I do. Sidechain, reverb, and delay is all I have going on here so far. Nice. And then, I mean, over here, I'd maybe get another effect sound. You can try that out. I'm going to duplicate it. And for this, we'll just go into the Proppa Patreon packs. Because I don't know. Actually, you know what? I got this really cool riser from this pack as well. It's not exactly a riser. It is called the Interference Stab. And it's this really nice white noise. Like, it's hard to describe. It's only meant to go 2 bars. But we can probably make it go, yeah. Could probably make it go here. Yeah, it's only meant to go 2 beats, but let's go a full bar. Yeah, it's meant to give that grimy white noise effect that a lot of people like in techno. All right, and then we're gonna take all these kicks. We're gonna do the same kind of fill that we did in the first section. I'm gonna cut the lows off that. We're gonna get the lows off this right here. I want to get rid of the clap in this part. Get rid of those rides. Get rid of these perks. We've got that one effect going. We want to do another still regardless. I want to get like something that's a little bit more pitch risey, you know? So I'm going to go into my effects and let's see. There's some really great stuff. What do I want? Something quick. UFO Ascend. Let's go with that. So it's a slow one. We'll try a 2 bar. Could work. Don't like interfering LFOs with the 16th note sequence bass, if that makes sense. So this has some of those mid frequencies. It's on a loose, it's on a free rate LFO. It's not synced. So I don't like how those clash. So we're going to try something else that rises. Looking for stuff. That's what we are using. So we're going to speed that up. That's a bar. That's 2 bars. Beautiful. I love taking risers to audio and just monitoring what the fuck is going on with them. Hate weird sounds in MIDI that you don't really have a full visual grasp on. So like I'll go in here, hit my EQ, be like, I know it still needs to be quieter, go into the actual physical gain of the sample. Beautiful. And then just like before, we want to make sure we're getting rid of that side chain. Nice. All right. So let's just, I'm obviously I would do more to the drop here if I were, like really pursuing this on my own in the studio. But with where it's at right now, I'm super stoked to just get a little bit of a build up together so that we can say, fuck it, we're done. We learned something today. We did something today. Maybe I got a few new Patreon subscribers because you guys see how fucking amazing this pack is. And everyone's going to walk away happy. So let's get a little build up going. Yeah, I've got a snare build, and I'm just, I'm going to use it because I made it. Why not? Maybe if I didn't make it and I was just like previewing the pack and being like, this is a good pack, I would make my own snare fill. But, I did this work already. I done did it. So this one purposely does end 2 bars early. Getting CPU issues here, but we're all right. So I think what I want to do is take like some kind of respace, and to be honest, I know what I have. So we're gonna copy this bass line. I'm just gonna grab this and we're gonna loop that through to that 2 bar mark. Beautiful. And I have one of the basses I designed for this pack is 1000% for techno like verses. And if it doesn't work out, we can always go grab a Reese. But I got this techno rustle in here, and I really meant for it to be like. Give me a moment, guys. Throw some tracks. Let's try this. That lag is pretty outrageous. That's why. That feeling when you realize your computer's lagging because you're almost out of storage while you're in the middle of recording a video that you're probably going to have to edit and take up 20 gigabytes of storage on your computer with. Fantastic. All right, well, I did just clear off a good amount of space on the hard drive because being a video editor and an audio producer comes with its heavy storage perks. So let's try this again. Already sounding better. Look at that. If anyone tells you that lack of hard drive space isn't what's slowing down your computer, laugh in their face and delete some shit. All right, so we got something here, and usually what I'll do from this point is like get the melody of the song together, right? So I'm going to get a synth, and it's going to be this pluck from this pack that is just perfect for technos. Right here, it is called Pluck the Champion for a reason. Fuck, that's beautiful. All right, so we're gonna go in here, and we're just gonna draw. I already have a melody in my head too. It's pretty funny how I work with this. So we're gonna start low on the A instead of A2. We're gonna go up to the 7th and then to the 3rd. Oh shit. Okay, I gotta turn that. Oh, I gotta turn that sidechain off. Dude, bruh. Alright, that's too close for comfort. Let's go like more over there. Same thing over here. I think I did it too. Yeah, you dumbass. Bro, that's a. All right, so from there in this synth, I did it all for you guys. You don't have to fucking route a thing. We got the second layer here, macro 3. That's gonna bring in some extra like saw layer, which you can't really hear too well until I start opening it with the filter. We're gonna go there, boom. We're gonna come in with that envelope too to give it some release, right? And then we're also gonna come in with that effects wash, so we'll leave it there. Look at that. We're gonna go into this bass as well. We're going to open this a little, like from here to here on the filter, but then I want to get rid of the LFO. Like I want this to just fully pad out by here. So should do that. And then what we're gonna do is sweep it on an EQ. Yeah, we'll start there. Cool. That sounds sick. I think what I want to do too is automate some reverb on that. Not a full washout like Endless Smile or something, but just some good reverb. I want that to hang out there. So we're going to take that, throw it up, make sure it doesn't go past the drop. That snare needs some washout for sure. And then what I have is a swell, and I did this exact thing for the sample song that I put together to make the sample pack, but I did it so, like, it turned out so well with this that I don't want to change it. This is the best pre-drop sound I've ever made, honestly. Into Garage, it just works so perfectly. So we're gonna go A. It might interfere with this Reese, so we'll see. But it's got this like. It's gonna interfere with that, so I'm actually gonna pull the tail off, but it'll still be good. And we'll turn the reverb all the way up. So with that, I think these snares could use a little reverb too, because I just want sounds hanging out in that empty space. I don't want just the FM bass to like play and then, nothingness. So we're gonna build a reverb up on that. That might be too much for sure. Cool, and then we can come in with this. Let's end this too. Actually, what I'm gonna do is just get that to audio, cut that tail off, make sure that's done, get rid of that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is export this. We're gonna take that last note. We're gonna do my reverb selection-based processing trick on it. Take that part off, sweep it back from like here, and then reverse it. And that can end right when that synth comes in. Close to where I want to be. Something you could do on these sounds to like really bring them out. I love distortion, like overdone distortion. I'll go in a kilohertz free pack distortion is really, really good. I'll go in here and I like the clip a lot. It's gonna be really loud, but it needs input signal in order to work. So we really got to crank it and turn it down. Beautiful. And then I'll hit it with an EQ to maintain all that. Like, it sounds good when it's fuzzied out. Just feels more intense. And that's it. Now I'm going to wave a very quick magic wand, throw my standard master on there without really any edits to it, just kind of the basic master. I want to listen to this full-fledged, full-bodied madness. Let's take a look back. Please, guys, remember this pack is available on my Patreon right now. You can go grab it. 63 samples, 24 presets, all extremely usable. I made sure that they are all extremely usable, as I do with all of my packs. This is the 13th pack. That means that there's 12 before this that have anywhere between 40 to 120 samples, depending on what the type of pack is. But there's a pack that's all 808s, 909s, and CR72s. There is a pack that is all effects. There's a pack that's all tops. There's an exotic drums pack. There's a pack with all vocals made by me and like using AI and then also using myself. There's an AI wavetables pack for Serum that comes with presets. There's full bass packs. There's 808 packs. There's so much that I've done on Patreon, so please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to play this out, and I hope you enjoyed. All right, I waved my magic wand. My master is on there. This, as I mentioned before, has zero processing. All we have is EQ, sidechain, reverb and delay, a little bit of filtering and stuff, but you guys know, like, I left these sounds very naked just so you can see, what they do. And also, I hope you learned something, some cool, like, very, like, down to the core basic techniques on building techno tracks out and how to balance them and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's check out this project. Let's go. So that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching again. I mentioned everything before about Patreon. Besides the samples and presets, I have so many tutorials up there. Write-ups about, like, you know, gain staging and promoting music, doing artwork, releasing music, how to get inspired. I've got new videos coming up soon about how to remix. Yeah, I've done a lot, so please go check it out, support me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. I obviously plan on doing more videos. I'm really loving doing this, and I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the support you've shown me over my career. Some of you guys have known me. Wow, some of you guys have known me since like 2015. Some of you guys jumped on the board this year, but regardless, I spent this past weekend with DJ Susan and the Hood Politics crew, and they just, you know, they were showering me with love that I'm not used to receiving in this scene, and it really touched me, and it lets me know that I'm being appreciated in this scene, and I want you guys all to know that you're appreciated. I appreciate you if you support me, if you watch me, if you listen to my music. It really means the absolute fucking world to me. This is my life. This is what I wanted my life to be, and you know, through brute force we got here, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without all of your support. So thank you so much. I love you, and I'll see you next time.